Hi everyone, hope you guys are doing great. In this video, I'm going to create a real-world ASP.NET MVC application. What's what is going to be different in this video is that we'll be focusing on the real-world application. And usually, when you search across the web, you don't find exact a real-world application. You can ask ChatGPT or any AI tool to provide one for you, but it do create a bunch of code and you don't know how to do it step by step. And when you go for tutorials, it usually walks you around specific things or a specific like piece of code, but it doesn't like tell you how to create an end-to-end application. So for this, I have browsed across the web and the GitHub for different repos, and I've chosen one application which I will be showcasing you in a while that can help you grasp how a real world ASP.NET application ASP.NET web application works. So without further ado, let me quickly show you what application I'm going to focus. Okay, over here I'll be posting this link in the chat or comment. Basically, this is a project on GitHub, which is current now. It's been publicly archived, but I've chosen it for the face of simplicity. Just give me a minute. Let me just hope you guys can see this now. Okay, so I have chosen this web application for the sake of developing an application. You can see this is the public archive and the development has been shifted to another version. But the reason I focused on this is a very simple application, and then we'll be quickly going through this. One more thing, you can see that there is a ebook being written and which do recommends like using this application. So if I can quickly show you that as well while you are trying to learn, so you can grasp that book as well, like .NET Microservice Architecture for Containerized .NET Application, and this application also talks about this project. So my prime focus is to like create the application step by step. You can go directly see the source code and try to grasp the thing, but my focus is going to be do step by step things. So let's move to the actual code. Just give me a minute. Okay, I'm going to open Visual Studio. Let me just create a new project. We are going to use ASP.NET Core web application. This is going to be an MVC application. I'm going to name it eShop CKC. I'm going to use the most recent version, which is .NET 9.2, and I'm going to do not use top level statements. I'll be quickly showcasing you what this means and how we are going to utilize it. Let me just create this. And let me just quickly run it just to showcase you how this is working. So basically, this is the very baseline template. On this template, we are going to improvise whatever we are going to develop. And let me quickly show you which I was like referring to. So what we are going to build, we are going to build some sort of a, you can see a eShop having like a catalog, and with paging being enabled and having EF code being used within this. and we have a SQL server. So step by step, I'll be guiding you on all the things that we can incorporate, and gradually we will be building this application. So let's move to that. Okay, so going to this one over here, you can see I will be quickly walking you through the existing folder structure within an as you know that within an MVC application, there is a models folder, a view folder, and a controller folder. By default, there is a home controller, and we are going to create a catalog controller. So what we are going to do, like add a new controller. So let me, rather than just give me a minute. This is start this one. Okay, so you can see I'm going to add a controller. We are going to choose an empty MVC controller, and within that controller we are going to name it catalog controller. Let me just remove this one. So you can see I've added the catalog controller, and let me just remove the home controller because we aren't going to use it. And I'll be using this as well. I'll be keeping this for now, but I'll be removing it further moving forward. So you can see that we have added a controller, and by default an index action is there, which is going to return a view. So how we are going to proceed forward, let me just quickly give you an overview. Basically this web application, or you can say the eShop itself, is being created with a specific like catalog. It's not just a catalog, but it itself is providing some pagination as well, and also it do provide the data using services. So let me just create a new service. So let's just add a folder. We are going to name it services folder, and let me just add a service. And at this point of time, we are not going to add a concrete class, but we are going to use an abstract class. What does it mean? We are not going to add the class right away. We are going to use the interface, and you will realize the benefits moving along. So let me just add an interface, and we are going to call it ICatalogService. Okay, so let me just add this, and then let me just add a couple of I would say function definition. So we need to have a get catalog items. Okay, so let me just refine it. Basically this is going to return a catalog, and this time it's not because we haven't created the catalog. So let me just do this, and this catalog is going to be a view model, not just a model but a view model. So for that, let me just add a folder, and we are going to call it view model. Okay, so view models are there. The reason we need to create a view model instead of just like returning a model to our view, because view model help us aggregate data from different models. So and we can omit anything which is not necessary, so we are not right away passing our model to the view. Instead we are going to provide a sort of a, you would say, a custom view model to our via our controller to our view. So moving forward, you will get to know how things work. If you are like facing some issue, if you are not finding that how you are able to connect the dots, just don't worry. We will be discussing each and everything as we move along. So let me just create the view model as of now. So let me just create a view model class, and I'm going to name this catalog. For the time being, I'm just keeping this that way. And let me just try to use this. The reason is just I just don't want any like compile time or any error as of now. So what we need to return from this, we need to return a view model. And when we are going to get like catalog items, so there is a concept of pagination as well, because we are not going to pull all the data at a given point of time. So we will be like doing a pagination. I can quickly show you what this means. Over here, there might be like multiple products. Over here you can see like it's showing 10 of 12 products. So and showing that page 1 of 2 is being available here. So instead of like pulling all the 12 products, it's just pulling the first 10, and it will be moving along using the next and the previous. So let's say if there are hundreds of products, so only 10 will be shown at any given point of time. So to implement that as well, we might need like to provide specific parameters that can shortlist the data that we are going to pull. So this time we are going to say that it's going to be the page index. This is to keep track of the page. Then we requires the like items on the page. This is one more thing. And one more thing I'm going to showcase to you. Over here, you can see there are like two drop downs. One is brand and one is type. As of now, in the picture, you can see it's showing like all, but there is a way a user can filter all these catalog via a brand or a type. So once the user select a brand or a type, this have been like passed across the web to the application, and in turn the specific filter data will be returned. So to cater this, we need to add like int brand ID. And what does this question mark specify? This is sort of a nullable. So there is a possibility that we do not get this one, because there might be a possibility that we don't receive any sort of brand ID, or what we are going to add like type ID. So that's the reason we are just having these over here. This is one thing. And within this catalog service, we might be requiring to pull the data for these drop downs. So you can see a brand drop down is there and a type drop down is there. So both these drop downs needs to be filled. And for this, we need to pull the data from a setup table, and we are going to send it across to the application using the same view that this can be populated. So let's just create another method definition. I would say task, and that it's going to be enumerable. We are going to return an enumerable, and it's for like select list item, select list item. The reason we are going to provide this, because in the drop down, we will be having this select list item having a name and a value. So this is the reason we are using it. and we are going to call it get brand. So this is the another definition. And one more thing, you might be like thinking, if you are not aware of why we are using this task instead of just having this catalog. This is the reason for this is that we are going to use await, and this is going to be like done in an asynchronous way. This and for that we are using this task. So let me just add one more definition, and then we'll be moving forward. This time I have copied the code, and we are going to use like get types. So we have our types with us, and then okay, so we have our definite we have our like abstract interface being ready, but no complete implementation is being there, and we are not going to do it right away. We will see to it later. So moving forward, let's move to the catalog class that we are trying to create. So based on what our catalog have, let's just see what we can get out of this. And let me just add this. Like, we are going to have a public int, and this time we need to keep track of page index, and this is a public property. And then we need a page size. So let me just write page size, and then we need a page count. We'll be using a page count, and moving forward we'll be requiring a list of catalog item, and we are going to call this as data. Okay, so you might be wondering what this catalog item itself is. This is basically the model. So this is going to be a view model which we are going to pass to the view, and this is going to be a model which we are going to like populate from the database. So let's just create this model as well. Just give me a minute. In the models folder, let me just add this class. We are going to name it catalog item. Now, based on what we have with us over here, you can see within the catalog, there is a name, there is a description, a price being attached, a picture, URI as well, and every like item or catalog do have a brand type and a catalog type, catalog brand or a catalog type. So we can tag those as well. So let's just keep creating that class. Let me just write property. One more thing, we can do it like using prop. So it's going to be public int, and this time we are going to use the ID, and then we need a name. Yeah, we need a name. We need a description as well, and we need this time we need a public price. So for price we will be using decimal. And moving further, we need to keep track of a picture URI. So we are going to use that picture URI, and this is going to be like, sorry, it should be like string, and it's going to be picture URI. So after picture URI, we would be requiring a catalog type ID, catalog type ID. And one more thing we are going to do, we not just only keep track of the catalog type ID, but we'll be having a catalog type available as well. So let's just add catalog type, and I'm going to name it catalog type. And then we are going to, you can see there is a like error over here because this type do not exist as of yet. I'll be creating it, but just to complete this file, let me just do the rest of the thing. And I need to create a catalog brand ID as well. So let me just create the public catalog brand as well, and I'm going to name that as catalog brand. And over here, and then let's just create a catalog item. There is no need to have this, but like let's just keep it. Okay, so you can see over here we have two types which are missing. So these are again going to be models. So one model, if you can see, this is a catalog item, but we also need catalog type and catalog brand as well. So let's just add, I can do it right away from over here as well. It will allow me to do a generate type, but the reason I'm doing it from over here is to let you know in which folder I'm going to create this type. So let me just add that class, and it's going to be a catalog type. And let's just create that catalog type. It's going to be a very simple class. It's going to be public int, yes, ID, we need an ID, and a string name we will be keeping because this is the type, so we'll be saying that this is a type. And one more thing we are going to do, I'm just keeping it for reference, we need to add another class as well, and which is going to be catalog brand, right? So over here in the catalog brand, rather than saying its type, I'm going to use brand. So over here, now you can see we have two brands, catalog type as well. Let me just save this, and both like this issue have been resolved. Let me just quickly rebuild to show you that everything is working fine. We are not going to run the application because nothing new have been like added. So moving forward, like we have added two models, not just two models, three models, and one view model as well. So let's just move to the actual thing, the catalog controller. So you can see our action within the controller is just a default one. So let's try to add something. So here we are going to like do one thing. We will try to create a public catalog controller. Basically, this is going to be a constructor, and the reason we are trying to do, we are going to use the dependency injection. The reason we are going to use the dependency injection, because we need to pass on the service, the catalog service that we have created. So we are going to pass that catalog service over here, and that catalog service will be used within our action. So let's move forward. If you are still not able to grasp each and everything, don't worry, I'll be explaining it. You can post a question as well, so I can go in much deeper detail in the next videos, but don't worry. So let's just stick to the video and keep watching till end, and hopefully you will be able to create a full-fledged web application, you would say enterprise grade web application. So let's just create a catalog service. I'll be using iCatalogService. So you can see we do not have a concrete implementation as of yet, but we can reference this catalog service, and I'm going to name this catalog service. So, and what we are going to do, we are going to set it to a local variable. And what I'm going to like name that local variable, it's going to be catalog. service. And for this, let me just create. I'm doing. I'm going to create a read-only field. So you can see over here, we are having a private read-only iCatalogService having the name CatalogService. So in our actions, we are going to use this CatalogService. So let's just move further. In our action, what we have with us, we do have just an indexing, but we need this function as an async because we'll be using await as well, and this is going to be a task, as I already mentioned. For asynchronous, we do use task, and within the index we will be requiring specific parameters. What are going to be those parameters? One thing which we have already seen in our service, like brand filter. So we might be getting this brand filter applied in a form of an integer. It might be null, so that's why we are allowing it to be nullable. And then we can use type filter applied, and we can use integer, and we are going to name it page. So basically we are getting these as a parameter. And moving forward, let's just decide that we need to show 10 items per page. We are just for the sake of simplicity, I am keeping it here, but moving forward we'll be moving it to the any settings, but for the time being, bear with me. So just give me. Okay, so let's just move forward. We need to define a catalog, and this is going to be like a function call to like async function. So in our catalog service, what we have created a catalog items. At this point of time, you can see that we do not have any concrete application, sorry, concrete implementation, but still we can use this. And once we'll be implementing the concrete application, then we can proceed. But as of now, we are just using this I would say the definition and this abstract sort of implementation. We are going to provide this page, and this page being nullable, there is a possibility it might be null. So we are going to use this operator to have 0. Let's say if this is null, so 0 will be passed on. So all we are always going to get a numeric number. Either it's going to be any specific number being passed in this page, or if it's null, so a 0 will be passed. Moving further, we do have items page, so which we have already defined over here. So we are going to pass, it is going to be 10 as of now. And what further we need to provide? We need to provide brand ID. So if the brand being like filter applied, so it is going to provide a value. So it could be null and as well. And what else, like we can apply type filter. And so one thing, for page we have done this, but for this we haven't, because if I go to the definition, you can see we can accept those without being nullable, but for these we allow that it could be nullable. So there's a provision, so that's why we are changing it to something else, and we are keeping it nullable. And moving further, so let's, okay, so what we need to do further, we might be requiring to create a view model over here. But before creating a view model, let me just create one more view model. So let's just add a new class, and this is going to be catalog index. I'll be explaining it in a while, why we are doing it and what's the benefit of using. Over here you can see this was the catalog, and it was going to like consume the catalog item, but over here we are getting the catalog index. So let's just try to create this, and then you'll get to know what's the reason we are creating this. So let's just create a public enumerable of catalog item. So over here again we are using catalog item, and we are going to call it catalog items. Then we do require the list of selectable like items. So we are going to provide select list item, and this is for brands. So all the brands that we need to provide back to our view are being passed via this. So let me just move this not using JavaScript. Okay, so let's just import the type. This is going to be MVC rendering. So this is the brand one, and let me just try to complete this view model. We need one more. This is not going to be like categories, this is going to be types. And let me just create a get and set for it. One thing I've missed over here, this is going to be this, and let's just do this as well. So, and what else we'll be requiring over here? We need the brand filter being applied, passed back to the view model to keep track of that as well. So it's going to be brand filter applied, and the same goes with the let me just do this. It's going to be type filter applied, and last thing which we'll be requiring is to have a keep track of the pagination info. So let's just name it. This is going to be a type. I'll explain you in a while. This is going to be a pagination info, and you can see this is again a type. So we need to create that type as well. So just one more class that we need to create over here inside the view model. We need to name it pagination info. So let me just quickly complete this because we have already being like open so much things. So let's just total items. So we are going to have total items. Then we are going to have like public items per page. And then we are going to have like I would say an actual page. Actual page. And then we need a sort of like keep track of total pages, and what else we need to keep track of next or the previous. And the reason we are going to have it, let me just quickly show you, and then because once we will be on the first page, we need to disable the previous, and when we will be on the last page we need to disable the next. So this is for that reason when we'll be doing it, so we'll be quickly keeping track of that. So for the time being, just stay with me, and let me, I'm back to the controller. So with this being Just let me just see one thing over here. You can see like this have been referenced as well. So pagination info, which we have just created, is being referenced. So let me just save it and go to the catalog controller again. And inside that controller, we have our catalog. And let's just create a new view model. So this is going to be catalog index, which we have just created. And within that, what we are going to do over here, you can see like get catalog itself is returning a task of catalog, and that catalog we are nest it, or I would say some set it inside this catalog in this view model. So let's just do, we have a catalog item, and over here we are going to set the catalog dot data which have been returned. And like just give me 1 minute. Okay, and what else we are going to provide to this? We need to provide the brands. So you can see that the brands itself, like we are going to call the await, and with the catalog service there is a get brands thing as well. So get brands as, and then we have like type as well. So let me just do it for types. uh, and we have the types, and then we need to see the brand filter applied. And if the brand filter itself is nullable, so what we are going to provide, we can provide as a 0. And the same goes for type filter applied, and we are keeping this the same way. And then we need the pagination info. As you see that pagination info itself is a type, so we might need to create it, and we need to nest it inside over here. And the actual page is going to be a page. So what does this mean? If there is a specific page being passed, it is going to be the actual page. Otherwise, it's going to be the 0. We are on the first page. And then we are going to provide the items per page, items per page. And then for that items per page, what we are going to do, the data count that we have, and then the total items we have. So basically this one is the data count which we have like pulled, and this is going to be the whole count. We'll be discussing it further. And then the last thing is going to be the pages. So we need to like do it total pages. So we need to calculate the total pages. And how we are going to do? We are going to do it using math ceiling, and as it's going to be a decimal. So we need to like do catalog dot count being divided by items page. So let's just try to, just give me a minute. We have our math ceilings open. Okay, so we need to have that math ceiling. For math ceilings, decimal, the page count, and we need to, okay. So what we have done, like there was a catalog count, and we do have a page items, and then we converted it to a decimal, and then tried to pass it. So we have a total page count over here. Moving further, what we need to set over here, we do require the pagination info. What we have done over here, just give me a minute, like this one being done. What we need to set on this VM in the pagination info of against next, we need to do one thing. We need to set like pagination info dot actual page. This should be like equal to like pagination info dot total pages minus 1. So if this is fine, so what we are going to return is disabled. Otherwise, nothing is going to be returned. It is going to be an empty thing. And I'm going to do the same for previous as well. Rather than copying, let me just do it. The pagination info dot previous, and we need to do like this ViewModel and the pagination info and the actual page should be like is going to be equal to 0. So what we are going to do is disable, or it's going to be empty. Select what error. Okay, we need to use the equal sign. So this is the view, and this is the view we are going to return. So let me just try to build it. As of now, we haven't done any concrete implementation. I'm just trying to show you that still the project is getting built, but on the runtime, it's going to fail because we do not have a concrete implementation of these methods, which we will be doing in the next video. So far, okay. So far we have like set up the foundation. Just give me a minute. Let me just stop this. Okay. So far, we have done, we have tried setting up ASP.NET MVC web application. We have created a controller, an action, model, 3 models as well, like a couple of view models as well. And we tried to connect those dots and connect those items. Still, we are not in a position that we are able to run the application. But just to make the video shorter, still it's like more than 13 minutes. But I would prefer to stop it here, and we will be further discussing and continuing it in the next video. What I'll be doing, I'll be pushing all this code in a specific repo, and will be providing access to you guys as well, so you can pull that code and try running it at your end as well. Hopefully you have find it useful, and if you have any suggestions or comments, feel free to post it in the comment section. And thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.